Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm welcome. It's indeed a great pleasure. On Saturday evening at 8 p.m., 29th of July, we all are together and we are moving in our series. That's basically we are talking about our Northeast India and our youth, and today's episode, we have got something very interesting for all of you. We are going to share about what exactly are the relations between India and Southeast Asia, that is our ASEAN countries, with a specific focus where, of course, we will be talking about northeast part of India. Let's move ahead together. It's indeed once again a great pleasure. Sakshi Chauhan is the first person to join this evening from India. We extend her a very, very warm welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, hearty welcome to everybody, Northeast India, ASEAN, youth prospects. We will be talking from the youth point of view, and we will be focusing through the Northeast part of India. Let's move ahead. We extend a very warm welcome, and that's coming from ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, where the non-resident Indian leading corporate houses, and of course, at the same time, next to our heart, focus youth, teachers, education, skills, development, and today India ASEAN. We started this special series for focus on northeast part of India with youth on 17th of July and today's 29th. And first program we did on 17th of July, that was a focus entirely on service industry, where we took on the youth from Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, and Sikkim. Thereafter, we moved on 18th of July, potential tourism industry as far as the Northeast India is concerned, and our youth are taken into consideration. On 19th of July, we came to advantage of Northeast India, where the youth have got wonderful soft skills. And when we are talking about soft skills, it's your etiquette, your manner, your gesture, your body language, your articulation, and whatever best you can do. Thereafter, we came on life skills. On life skills also, we took a lot of areas into consideration, how basically there is a lifelong learning and you got to acquire the life skills to grow. Then we moved on to rural tourism and agri-tourism, Northeast India youth. We moved on from there to adventure tourism, and where we focused basically on water sports, aero sports, and trekking, mountaineering, and rafting. Couple of other things we took into consideration. Then we moved on to ecotourism, wildlife tourism of Northeast, where basically we took on the wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserves, flora and fauna, ecotourism, green tourism, floriculture, sericulture, horticulture, everything we discussed, including farmhouses. Then we came on to spiritual tourism and wellness tourism of the northeast part of India. And then we moved on to cultural tourism and culinary tourism. That was our next focus, which we took. Then we came on to film tourism. Northeast India has got tremendous potential. We talked about film tourism, what exactly is being given into film-induced tourism, cinematic tourism. We discussed in detail. And then we came on vocational teachers, where we focused on if Northeast India youth are interested to become vocational teachers, whether at the school level or college level or university level, or even clearing the UGC net, how basically to go by. Today, we are moving on to Northeast India, India, and of course, along with our ASEAN region, where the 10 beautiful countries are there. Here is the special ASEAN India foreign ministers meeting, which took place last year. And when you are talking about the ASEAN member countries. So there are 10 countries which you have to take into consideration. You've got Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, and Brunei. That is something fantastic. Indo-ASEAN relation, if we take into consideration our relations for the last 30 years, how they have grown, which way they have grown, what exactly has happened, what are the areas where we are basically focusing on, that is something like connectivity, maritime security, blue economy, digital age, migration, and then we had been talking about FTA, free trade agreement, and a couple of other relations. And now, the G20 is going on, where India has got the presidentship. And just before us, it was Indonesia. That is once again when we have got the ASEAN and Asia. Now, these relations have developed over the years, whether it's a trade or it's an investment or it's a free trade or it's an agreement part or it's tourism and full dialogue partners and for the peace, progress, and shared prosperity. A couple of things have been discussed. There is also the comprehensive economic cooperation leading to creation of the FTA that was done in 2011, accession by India to the Treaty of the Amity and the Cooperation, joint declaration for cooperation in combating international terrorism. Like that, lots of development. And we have made strides towards strategic partnership that is between India and ASEAN when you take into consideration. Now, when we are taking all this, there is a economic significance, there is a security significance, and of course, there is a geo-strategic significance which we have to take into consideration as far as India and ASEAN is concerned. And our focus at present, we are talking about because there is a proximity to our 8 beautiful states in the northeast part of India with the ASEAN. And if you look towards, Myanmar, you have got from Manipur by the road where from you enter Myanmar and you get into the ASEAN region. And the border is the More, which you talk about. Now, of course, today's focus is when we are talking about youth. So the fourth ASEAN India Youth Summit that took place from 12th to 16th of February 2023. It was in Hyderabad, Telangana, in India, and the theme was wonderful, strengthening ASEAN-India partnership in the Indo-Pacific. And this was splendid, where the youth from the 10 beautiful ASEAN countries, they came to India, and in Hyderabad, they all met, they discussed, a couple of things were taken into consideration, and particularly the vibrant youth for both the sides, those took part in that, and it was a wonderful youth summit. Now, when we talk about investing in future is concerned, anybody who talks about investing in future, it means investing in youth, preparing the youth for better tomorrow and better today. And youth have the opportunity, and at the same time, they have the responsibility also, which they have to take care of very well systematically with each other. Now, in ASEAN, when we talk about, it is basically world over is taken as a role model for the integration for the entire world. These 10 countries, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, religion, whatever you talk about, the 10 countries have moved together. And this has become, particularly the ASEAN, as a role model for the entire world. But at the same time, if you look towards South Asia, where the India falls, surrounding our neighbors, we tried our level best with the SAARC region. But somewhere the regional integration has not grown with that pace onto which it should have grown or it can grow. Is because of various factors we will talk some other day. There was a 19th India ASEAN summit also that was held in November 22, which was hosted by Cambodia. That was something very nice. Now, when you talk about fourth ASEAN India Youth Summit, because today we are focusing on the youth, it's very important to understand that the creativity and innovation, and over here, there were a lot of deliberations on digital partnership. And at the same time, there were quite a bit of discussions on emerging challenges in the cyberspace and how there could be a digital transformation, how there could be a cyber policy coordination, and the entire digital ecosystem was discussed. And when you talk about digital, then there are no physical boundaries because you can work beyond the boundaries, across the boundaries also, because that is something we have to take into consideration. And our Honorable Prime Minister of India always talks about HERA model, and that we will take on some other day, in detail. Today, basically, our efforts are that India-ASEAN relation, which have got developed in the last 30 years, how the geographical, the boundaries, and particularly 8 states which are located in the northeast part of India, how they can closely work with the ASEAN youth. Could there be a cultural exchange? Could there be a research exchange? Could there be a student exchange? Could there be a teacher exchange? Could there be a tourism partnership? Could there be a digital partnership? And could there be a lot of efforts to be put in together where the Northeast India youth, because when you talk about cultural similarities, costume similarities, and cuisine similarities, the art, the craft, the culture, the cuisine, the dances, the music, and at the same time, even the film festival of the ASEAN also, which took place in India. So there is a lot which can be done between ASEAN and our northeast part of India, the youth. If you recall, we discussed with you the sector skill councils of India, 37 of them, those are doing wonderful. Could we have a partnership with ASEAN through these sector skill councils where the youth of both the regions and both the areas can have a partnership? And we also discussed that the education and skills and the MSMEs and entrepreneurship and employment can do a lot. Our chamber had brought India's first finishing school of service industry in 1994, and we built a lot of partnership with a number of countries in the ASEAN, where together the capacity building of the teachers, capacity building of the youth, and now the finishing school post-pandemic has gone totally digital, where we talk about soft skills, life skill, trade skills, global skills, and everything is done digital way. And also, a lot of research is being done in the digital inspirational lab, where the education got to be made meaningful to our day-to-day life. Whatever we do since morning till we go to sleep throughout the day, why not it should be part of our education ecosystem in a practical way? Could there be a joint partnership on capacity building of our teachers and youth in the ASEAN region and the Northeast India youth? Let's think about it. Let's plan about it. And there could be a tourism linkages as well in both the regions. Ladies and gentlemen, as long as we all think positive, talk positive, live positive, because it's rightly said, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If that is the case, let's move together. All of us, we should be together. This program is going live for you on the YouTube channel at the rate ICSI India Live. That is the link through which you can come on International Chamber for Service Industry. So like it, share it, comment, subscribe it, press the bell icon. We are also going to have, which can be taken a great benefit, those are interested about tourism. We are starting UGC Net series for you, so that each one of us will know. Our upcoming event, if we talk about of the chamber, we extend a very warm welcome to the ASEAN countries, the people, those are in travel and tourism, hospitality, aviation. Do join us at 22nd Annual International Convention of the Feast, Forum of Educators and Skill Providers for Tourism and B2B meeting of the entire travel trade. And theme is most appropriate, artificial intelligence in tourism and hospitality education technology. We look forward to the valuable participation of the ASEAN countries in this particular convention, and I'm grateful to all the dignitaries, those are right over here, under the dynamic and dedicated leadership of Dr. Subhash Goel, who is the chairman of the convention. With these words, we look forward to meeting you tomorrow morning at 9:30. Tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow we will have three programs for you. We'll start in the morning at 9:30, and then we will have program for you in the evening also. So let's meet. And tomorrow at 8 p.m. in the evening, you'll be meeting non-resident Indians also. And we will also talk with you, the non-resident Indian and the corporate and others, all of us together, how do we work towards investors meet. That is also going to be discussion and deliberations tomorrow. With these words, stay fit, stay fine. Today is Saturday evening. Enjoy yourself wherever you are and have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday evening.